Now, knives, machetes, a crossbow and guns are among the items some road workers claim they've been threatened with while simply doing their job.
It's a really shocking report for you, this. New figures obtained by the BBC show 541 cases of abuse like that towards highway staff in England between 2020 and 2023, prompting calls today for a crackdown on abusive drivers, as Ben Moore tells us.
There's no threats there. Are you backward? Are you backward? Threaten. There's no threatening you.
It's a dangerous job, like the physical side of it. And then you've got all the abuse side of it, which makes it 10 times more dangerous.
I don't think anybody that works in roadworks hasn't experienced road rage or abuse from members of the public.
This is the reality of the day job for our road workers.
The abuse can vary from swearing to physical to one time someone actually pulled a gun out on me.
Sinead had just been laying out cones to close a road when she encountered an irate motorist.
We'd put our lane closure on, just shut one lane of traffic, and he was like, "What do you do?" like that at me. And then with that, he unzipped his jacket and pulled a gun out on us and held it in my face. You just kind of freeze. You don't really know. It's like a pinch me moment. Is that real? So then I rang the police, and then armed response were there in minutes, and they were fantastic. And yeah, he got caught, so. You'd have one on the back, unstacking the cones. You'd be this close from traffic, putting it out onto the road.
Sinead has been a road worker since she was 18, and she's now in charge of a crew.
I thought I was fine after it. You feel like you become quite numb to these situations because they happen on a daily. But now, every time I go anywhere, I'll take my vest off, just to make yourself feel less of a target.
And Sinead is not alone.
I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been run over, objects being thrown. We get urine, dirty nappies, bottles.
The M25 A3 junction is one of the busiest set of roadworks in the UK. 270,000 cars pass through here every day, and heavy traffic makes tempers fly.
No, it's getting worse. We're seeing more and more cars on British roads, and we're seeing a lot more anger and rage when people are driving. We've been doing this a long, long time.
Even during this interview, the cones seem to be a problem for one driver.
Did you see that guy?
He just come over the curb.
He just came through the cone.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence. The people just don't care. They just want to get to where they're going.
An industry awareness campaign says there were more than 2,000 reports of road worker abuse in England last year.
No one cares about us, if that makes sense. Like, no one actually cares about road workers.
Brenton was overseeing roadworks in Southampton when a van driver was refused access to a road. The situation escalated quickly.
I could see the gentleman literally hitting my colleague with a bat, and we managed to get the gentleman off our colleague and restrain him. And then we found out afterwards that he didn't actually live on that road. He just didn't want to drive the 2-minute diversion to get around.
Brenton says there's often an added, uglier dimension to the abuse.
I hear someone racially abuse me, and I let it go over my head most of the time, but it still hurts. It still hurts. It's going to hurt anybody.
They are the kind of intermediary that we can see when we're in our cars and we're feeling cross and agitated. And I think there is something special about happens in a car where you feel separated from the world, and you can turn into the worst version of yourself.
Psychologist Jane Ogden's office is just down the road from the Surrey roadworks. She often has to queue through them too.
I mean, there are simple things that you can do. You can listen to music, you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to the radio. But I think the most useful thing is just to tell yourself that there's actually nothing I can do about it. I've just got to sit here.
Offences committed at roadworks aren't limited to abusing workers. Even driving through the cones could have serious consequences.
Lane incursions is where people ignore road signs and directions and drive through road closures, which has literally caused road workers to die for safety and is so dangerous. There really is no place to hide because you will be detected and traced through your vehicle if you're not arrested at scene.
Even though experiencing abuse seems to be part of the job, these workers say they'll still be fixing and improving our roads.
It's a job that excites me, it thrills me. I like building things, I like construction things, but I shouldn't have to come to work and suffer that kind of abuse.
Everyone's like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I think you can, you shouldn't have to do it. Like, you shouldn't have to put up with that.
Why do you still do this job if it's so dangerous?
Because I love it.
Ben Moore, BBC News.
Well, Sinead is here on the sofa with us now, along with Louise Cope from Go Traffic Management. Thank you so much. You love the job, clearly, but at times you felt really seriously like you might be in danger.
Yeah, it varies every like I work night shift, so it varies every night. It goes from physical to verbal. So
Every night?
At least once a night. Yeah.
What sort of incidents then?
People, most commonly it's swearing at you, or people getting out and throwing their hands around, and which can actually be quite scary in a way because you don't know. But yeah, it varies.
And that terrible irony you said in the piece there, that the high vis, which is meant to give you protection, puts you kind of in danger, you feel, because it attracts attention.
Yeah, well, it made me feel like a target after the gun incident happened, which was mentioned in the VT. Yeah. So now if I go into a petrol station or anywhere that's not within our workspace, I take my high-vis jacket off.
That's not right, is it? Yeah, that you should feel that vulnerable.
No, not at all.
And the gun incident you described, I mean, how does that kind of haunt you every day? It sounds terrifying.
Yeah. It was one of them moments where you're like, is this actually happening? Like, I shouldn't have to experience this at work. And that's why I think this campaign is really important, to raise awareness.
Yeah. And Louise, lots of workers are experiencing this at work. Why are road workers so targeted?
So I think it's a multifaceted problem, and we know from the latest figures that there's around 2,000 people, well, just over 2,300 actually last year, that have reported abuse. But in the week up to the last Respect Our Workforce campaign, that was up to 350 reports per week. That's in excess of 18,000, and we're sure that that's not the true number.
I was just going to say, they're the ones that are reported.
Absolutely. Now, there's frustration when drivers are stopped from getting on with their journey. They do obviously experience inconvenience, but I don't think that it could ever justify the behaviour that we see.
You're shaking your head, Sinead. There'll be people getting in their cars this morning, getting frustrated by roadworks and delays on their way to work. But what's your message to them, as somebody who then suffers the abuse?
I think calm down, slow down, calm down. We're all humans, and you don't know what everyone's going through. So we try to be respectful to them, because you don't know what they're going through. But equally, they should represent the same message.
It's a really interesting point. We're all humans. I think maybe, Louise, do we as motorists tend to think of it being the work rather than the people doing the work?
Absolutely, and I think in this kind of antisocial behaviour, there's no demographic that we can say is targeting our teams. It's across the board, and it does seem to be that people get behind the wheel of a car and suddenly forget who they are, and what they're doing.
And what is it then about being in the car? Do you think it makes people feel, well, they might be stressed, in a hurry, need to get somewhere, work, whatever, pick up kids from school, but do you think being in the car makes them feel invincible and almost forget themselves?
It must do, because when they ram the cones in their car and they drive at you, it's their shield, isn't it? So, but yeah, it's disgusting behaviour.
You've been driven out?
Yeah, a few times.
A few times?
Yeah.
That's not.
I think people in our industry become desensitised to it, and that's why this campaign is like, no, you need to report it. We need to put a stop to it, because it's not right. No one should go to work and feel, I don't want to come home after a night shift and my mum says to me, how was your shift? And I said, oh yeah, someone drove at me last night. She doesn't want to hear that from her daughter.
How much does she worry about you?
So, when I first started, she was like, please, like, be careful. Every night I go out, she's like, be careful. But I love the job, and she knows I love the job. So, no. I actually encourage people to come into the industry as well.
But would you ever, after what you've been through, the gun incident, being driven at, there must be moments when you think, oh, God, I can't do this, it's not...
I've had to lock myself in the van before where someone's tried to get in the van and I've threatened to ring the police. But now, with this raising awareness with this campaign, I will ring the police.
Here's the thing, though. When people do that and they're trying to shout at you, what is their frustration with you? Because you're there doing a job. So why are they cross with you? What do they say?
We're the ones they greet at the gates, so just move out the way. One woman told me, I hope I go die the other week. Like, it's just, people are crazy.
Does this campaign, this awareness, the fact that we're on the telly this morning, does that make you feel a bit safer, that just having a national conversation about it?
Well, I think, we spoke this morning and we said, like, I didn't even know this was a job before I started it. So I think even saying this is a job, and like men, women, young, old, we all do it. So, yeah, I do.
And Louise, you actually want workers to be protected by law now, don't you?
Yes, I think we need to see our road workers protected in the same way that you would expect emergency services to be protected.
What difference will that make?
I think we need to see stricter sentencing for those people, and we need to make sure that the reporting methods are secure and that they're robust, so our people feel more secure in doing that. I think also we ask our teams to go back to the same place where they're abused, so there needs to be more kind of exclusion zones around those people that do commit these crimes.
Louise, Sinead, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. Lots of messages coming in from our viewers with concerns about the same things. Hopefully you'll be a bit safer in the months and years ahead. Keep enjoying the job. All right, take care. Thanks for coming in.
And if you're just getting in your car this morning, be patient.
Yeah,
Take your time. Yes.